Hello and welcome to another product tutorial from Zenatta Consulting. My name is Josh Oliver, and in this video I'm going to do a small snippet from our full product tutorial we did on Zoho Desk in March 2023. In this video I'm going to go over all the ticket management options we have inside of Zoho Desk. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and we'll be sure to answer them on our weekly Zenatta show, Azaz. Ask Zenatta anything about Zoho. Please be sure to like and subscribe down below. Thank you and enjoy. Alrighty, so ticket management is really the core of Zoho Desk. Within your, when you first get into Desk, the first tab on the left is going to be tickets. And I'll go through knowledge base and some of these other modules in the future or later in this video, but the core of Desk is really ticket management. When we're creating tickets, let's say once a ticket is created, then we can view these tickets through this module. And so there's a bunch of ways to view and modify this page here so that we're looking at actionable tickets. In this case, I'm looking at all tickets, but there's ways to create custom views, or maybe we want to just show only my open tickets. In this case, I have one ticket that's assigned to me, and it is open. In this view here, I'm looking at all departments, but like Greg has shown, we can create multiple departments to separate and kind of group tickets based on teams and based on where that ticket should reside. So if I was looking at internal, now I can see my internal tickets, and in this case, it's all tickets, but I can go to my tickets or my open tickets. And this will kind of make this list more actionable and less overwhelming for an agent. There's other ways to control this view. We have a classic view. We could do compact, which is slightly compact, table view, and then there's a few other work modes views to kind of separate this into like a Kanban, or we have handshake mode where it's going to group them based on contacts or leads inside the CRM, if there's any potentials linked, customers, and so on. And we have countdown mode, which is really kind of where they are as far as the timeline you've set, if it's overdue, due in 6 hours, or no due date. Timeline really comes in play whenever you have SLAs set up based on ticket replies. There needs to be a certain response time within maybe 24 hours or 12 hours, depending on the SLAs you have set up. But yeah, these different views are very helpful based on your role in the support process. You might have a particular view to manage. There's other ways also. So if you click on the HQ tab here, this is kind of an admin level dashboard where you have some graphs, some dashboard components, and a few other lists to review. And then also for an admin, maybe you want to look at the agent queue where you can look at each different user. In this case, we only have one user inside of our desk, but maybe you could imagine 20 or 30 different support agents, and you could click on each one to reference their tickets to kind of have a high-level overview of their tickets. And again, you could change the work modes whenever you're in here. We also could do the same for team queue. Greg had just shown you previously how to create a team. And in this case, we don't have any internal teams set, but if I go to support and then team queue, we'll see any of the tickets under support. In this case, we don't have any. So I'm going to go back into our views and let's look at, let's just go to all departments, and then we'll see my open tickets across all departments. If I click on a ticket, there is a bunch of information that's displayed when we click on a ticket. So certainly we have the conversation going back and forth, and I'm actually going to choose a different ticket. Let's go to all tickets. Here's probably a better example. So we have a conversation back and forth, and all a ticket basically is an email conversation back and forth with a customer, maybe it's a vendor, or a lead coming in from your website. So an email comes in. That email could be, maybe it's not an email, maybe it's a message from a form on your website and you want to create a ticket. Or it could even be a call. Maybe someone calls you and that creates a ticket. Uh, so there's a few different sources you can have that create tickets. It could be an email, a call, or you could create one on your own. Maybe someone texts you and you don't have a way to receive that as a ticket. So you want to create a ticket on your own. There's a few different ways to create those tickets. And all a ticket represents is a communication back and forth between you and a person. That person, it could be, like I said, a lead, contact, or a vendor. There's a bunch of different ways we can kind of group or style these tickets, or different stakeholders involved. Now, when we're looking at a ticket, we have a few different things that show up. So we have ticket properties. This is going to show us the information that's linked to the ticket. So who's the ticket owner? In this case, it's unassigned. If I want to assign this to myself, then now it's assigned to me. We have statuses: open, on hold, escalated. These statuses can be customized. This is what you get out of the box whenever you first set up Desk, but certainly you can imagine different statuses might be needed. Maybe you want a follow-up status, or a status that says pending review. There's a bunch of ways we can customize and then use those statuses to trigger workflow rules. We have a due date. This could be auto-defined or just set manually. And these that would be auto-defined either based on a SLA or a workflow rule that you set up. Tags, a nice way to just kind of tag it really quick. These tags also do come into play when you want to see related support suggested articles. And so I'll go over that in just a second. And then we have some other information here. Maybe there's a phone number associated to this contact, or maybe they called in and there was a phone number listed. Product name: if this ticket was related to a particular product, then go ahead and link it here. And then we have skills, associated type, and some other information. All of these fields can certainly be customized. Maybe you don't care to see certain fields, or you want additional fields to capture maybe a serial number for that product, or a source of some kind. We can certainly create additional fields here and even set those as mandatory fields if needed. Now, we also, like I was saying, we have suggested articles. So if I click on suggested articles, this is going to pull in articles from your knowledge base based on information inside of this ticket. And that information could come from within the message itself, or it could come from the ticket properties fields. So in this case, this is a suggested article that's saying answering your first ticket. So we have Zoho Desk packs a bunch of features, and here is a nice article that an agent can read whenever they are responding to this ticket. And they could even copy and paste this and use it as a template to respond to an email. So there's a big use case for using your knowledge base to respond to tickets. So building out that knowledge base is going to be a big part of using Desk, because there's a lot of ways you can save time and energy by templating those responses or giving some valuable information to your agents so that they can respond effectively. We have timelines, so seeing where this ticket has been over the history. So in this case, it's come in at September 27th, and not much has happened since then. So timeline is a nice little thing to look at. Followers is ability to add agents to that to follow the ticket. We can share it, similar. Skills is a way to associate skills. And then we have some integration fields here. So we can integrate Zoho Desk with CRM, campaigns. There's another way to do parent-child ticketing, but CRM and campaigns, these are other Zoho apps that now, when you're responding to this ticket, you have that information to reference. So maybe you wanted to look at their related potentials or any of the notes previously created maybe there were tasks associated to this CRM contact, and you want to reference those before you respond to this ticket. And same with campaigns. Maybe they email you, or the ticket is regarding a particular service that they got an email from through campaigns. So maybe you want to review that email and reference specifically what that email was saying so you can respond in the best way possible. So these integrations, and these aren't the only two you have. Greg is going to show some other integrations that you can throw into Zoho Desk to preview this information or review this with the most information possible. On the ticket itself, we have the conversation. We have what's called a resolution. When the ticket is closed, you can add in a resolution. And then once this resolution is saved, you can also save it and add it to your knowledge base as an article. And again, this resolution, if saved as an article, could present itself in future tickets as a suggested article. So that's a really great use case for using the knowledge base combined with the tickets. We also have time entry. Time entry, you can certainly manually add in a time entry, or you could click this little play button up on the ticket itself to start the timer. And whenever you are tracking your time, after you end your time, it's going to log it here. And then there's a little dollar sign that says, it kind of hints at you can charge for your time on these tickets. That comes into play with your agent cost per hour. And these are just settings on the back end that you can set up. Additional cost, you can throw in additional cost, and then we have total cost. Setting that as either billing or non-billing for a future invoice. And those invoices can be created through Zoho Finance Suite. So within Zoho Books, we can integrate that as well and trigger these invoices straight from Zoho Desk. Other tabs we have are attachments. So logging the attachment here. If someone actually sent an email with an attachment, then you would see that within this list here, and as well as any other attachments that are sent back and forth. This is just a list of all of those attachments. Other tabs we have here. So we have the attachments module at the top. That's going to show a list of any attachments going back and forth. So if the ticket was created with an attachment, it should show up here, as well as any other attachments that are going back and forth. We have activities. This is a task related to the ticket. And in this case, this task has a separate set of statuses. So this is another thing you can use to trigger action items based on tickets. Approval process and history. History is pretty straightforward. Approval process is submitting this to a support manager to get the final confirmation that it's completed. All right. So like I mentioned earlier, there's ways to customize these ticket properties. And to customize the ticket properties, we can go into setup. Before I go into that, actually, let me show you what it looks like on the edit view. So when we create or edit a ticket manually, this is what the view looks like. So we can link this ticket to a department. It gets linked to a contact. It can also get linked to an account if you want to link them there. And then we have an email, phone, and subject, and then description. So all of this is by default what Zoho Desk presents you whenever you first start up. But you can customize this. So if you want to customize it, maybe you want to remove certain field or add another field, then we go to setup and layouts and fields. The layout and fields can be modified independently per each department. So in this case, I'm looking at the layout for tickets, but the layout could also be customized for the contracts, accounts, contacts, and so on. In this case, I want to show you what it would look like for tickets. And then, like I said, departments, it can be department specific. So maybe you want certain fields for support versus internal. This is how you would do it. So you'd come in for internal. Let's say we want to come in here and remove classifications. I can remove that field here. Some of these fields are not removable. You can see non-removable standard field, but some are. So anything that is not a non-removable field, you can remove it. Let's say we also want to add in a pick list. We can throw in a new pick list here. And one new feature that Zoho has added is the ability to add values in bulk. And you'll see this in other Zoho apps where you can essentially copy and paste or import from a CSV. This is really nice and a huge time saver, and helps you quickly add options in here. So instead of having to type them in one by one, you can just import or manual entry. And as long as they are comma separated or just on a new line, they will be imported in here. The next item I want to review. So this is managing or editing the ticket itself. Another spot to manage tickets is within your dashboards. So I had shown you the HQ dashboard, but there's another place to manage this, which is within the Analytics tab above. And under Analytics, we have dashboards, reports, and advanced analytics. So under dashboards, we can add in a component. Components could be predefined, so tickets by department. We have a few other predefined components in here. And then we can certainly bring in some other stuff. So maybe tickets by channel. We can customize this. We don't have too many tickets in here, so not much data to present, or no data in this case. But based on that report, then you would certainly see some components populated. This dashboard can be totally customized on your end. I think when you first join in, there's just maybe one dashboard component to modify, but certainly adding them is very easy. Under reports, we have a few different things in here. So we have our global reports, ticket by department. We have a few under static reports. And then this is just giving you some information based on that report. So agent availability, agent performance, incoming threads, and so on. We can create other reports in here. So if I wanted to add a global report or schedule a global report, we could. When I add in a report, it's going to ask me what the primary module is, any other related modules. So maybe I wanted to pull in the tickets and their contacts, set it as a tabular, summary, or matrix report. And then I need to go through columns. It's basically building out these reports. And a quick little tip, if you hit the command button, you can select multiple and then go ahead and throw that over. Grouping, columns to total. And this could, maybe you want to bring in the total time spent or number of threads. This could be a sum, average, lowest, or highest value. And then last on report, you can throw in a criteria so that maybe you're only seeing certain tickets that are opened or any of the ones that have been closed. And then last, if these reports don't get you what you need, the other option you have is advanced analytics. And this is tying into Zoho Analytics, which really the possibilities are endless as far as the SQL and other sorts of criteria you can combine into these reports. So if you can't get them with the dashboard and the reports tabs, then certainly you'll be able to build it out inside of advanced analytics, either using SQL or some other pre-built actions that they have in here. All right, a few other things. So one other big update that has happened inside of Desk this year is the ability to track email read receipts. And this has to be enabled. So it doesn't start out by default. And to enable it, you need to go under data administration, privacy settings, and then read receipts. You kind of have to go back over to the left here and you see read receipts. This does have to be enabled. It's not enabled by default. And once you enable this, then you can select your departments you want to start tracking. And that's pretty much all you have to do. Now, whenever an email or when a ticket is read, now it has to be done through an email. It's not, I don't believe this works for SMS or for any tickets obviously manually created. But if it's sent via an email and you respond via an email, if they read it, it will be tracked. And so that's a nice setting that Zoho Desk has enabled recently. All right, so now I've kind of gone over ticket management and I've hinted at a few things inside of the knowledge base.